We have a definitely confused in Dearborn Heights. Definitely confused writes in and says, do you suggest keeping an investment property in my personal name or forming a company? I thought that if I placed insurance on the home, it could protect me if there is a lawsuit. So what do you suggest, please? Someone's finally said, please, from definitely confused
Yeah.
in Dearborn Heights.
Oh my goodness. We get this question asked at least a handful of times every week, right? So let's just take the insurance factor out of this equation for one moment. If you own a piece of property that you're renting out to people, to tenants that you may or may not know well, the whole point of having a corporation is to put a wall between your business activities and your personal activities. And that wall, the corporate structure, gives you protection from personal legal responsibility related to your business activity. Okay? Provided that you run your corporation in accordance with the the corporate governance rules in Michigan for corporations, right? You have to act like a corporation. You can't commingle your personal and your business funds together, things like that. You have to act like a company, okay? And that's really, in a nutshell, why you want to have besides tax benefits, and that's I'm not a tax attorney and I'm not a CPA. I would tell anybody, if you have questions related to the tax implications of their business and how to protect against paying too much in taxes, that's something you do with a CPA, okay? But with regards to the legal liability, that's the shield. The corporate structure shields the individual from personal legal liability for actions that are taken under the business. That's the whole gist of why you have a corporation, okay? That's before the insurance equation. Now, an individual can have insurance on a home that they rent out, but let's say, God forbid, there's a fire. And let's say somebody, gets hurt, a tenant gets hurt in that fire. The insurance company doesn't, pay out on a claim right away to anybody. Insurance companies, you've heard me say this before, are usually some of the wealthiest corporations in America. They own the largest buildings almost in every major city of the country. Look who owns these buildings. It's the insurance companies.
Right.
And it's built on premium.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very reluctant. They're wonderful about writing up policies. That's how they make their money. And they also keep their money by slowly paying out on claims or denying insurance claims. Okay. So the first thing you'd have to do is, well, will this insurance company protect me from, legal claims related to this fire if somebody got hurt? And the answer probably is going to be no.
Right.
We may, let's say it's arson. Let's say, the tenant was negligent or intentionally lit the fire in the house. There's going to be no insurance. That's
Right.
number one, no insurance claim. Number two, let's say the insurance company says, you know what, we're going to pay on that claim. But your limits on the insurance policy was only $500,000. What if the tenant sues the individual for $1 million? You're exposed. So insurance is first of all, there's nothing wrong with having liability insurance, hazard insurance, and a corporation. That's what I do. And that's what I would advise anybody who is active in real estate, who is renting out property, or who's even flipping a piece of property. Get the property insured, but put it in the name of a corporation. Put it under the umbrella of your corporation. That's as clean as I can make it. I don't know how to spell it out any cleaner. If you want, I call it going bare. If you want to go bare, not have insurance, not have a corporate entity, you're exposing your personal assets.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be liable. If you're ever held liable for something, you might as well file bankruptcy. You know, attorneys, litigation attorneys, when they sue a corporation, they look at the company and the people who own the company, and they see if the people that they're suing are actually acting in accordance with the state laws on managing and maintaining their corporate structure. And if they don't, it's called piercing the corporate veil. The attorney will ask the court to set aside the corporate veil, which is the veil of legal protection, and allow the plaintiff to go right directly after the defendant individually, personally, and go after their assets personally. So this individual, what was it? Devastated in, what was it? Devastated in Dearborn?
Definitely confused.
Okay, don't be confused. Go, run, don't walk, get yourself a corporation. It's not that expensive to set up. Make sure you have an operating agreement. Make sure you speak with a lawyer to set that up for you. And then after you form the corporation, make sure you contact your homeowner's insurance company or hazard insurance company and ask them for insurance on the home if you don't have it. And now you have two forms of protection for you, for your entity and for your sanity and for your personal assets. Okay, and that's it.
And then what was the liability protection, that third that you mentioned that you place on yours?
Right. Well, it's called like an umbrella policy.
Okay.
You can ask for more coverage. Depends on your your underwriter, they call it, but liability from, they have a whole list of things that you can, I wouldn't say you can select from, but they do have different amendments to the policy to protect you as the owner of this, rental property or investment property.
Mm-hmm.
So, one example, what if here's a perfect example. It should be in everybody's lease if you're a landlord, but I've actually seen it where tenants, they're renting the house and they have children and then they put up a trampoline. Trampoline's not insured.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get in, your lease should say, no trampolines, right? Believe it or not, most people don't have leases that say that. But what is the liability of the landlord who allows a tenant to bring in a trampoline and God forbid somebody gets hurt? It sounds like an old problem, but that does happen. So you have to have an umbrella policy. I'm not the insurance agent. I refer my stuff out to insurance agents. See, I stay in my lane, Blair. Mm-hmm. I rely on other professionals to help me and give me or my clients the advice of what needs to be done next to protect themselves when it comes to insurance. But there's, you can increase your liability insurance by using an umbrella policy. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, that adequately answers that question. And that actually wraps up all of our questions for the evening. So if you were watching this video, David and I actually spend like an hour plus block going down quite a list of questions. And that concludes all of them for the evening. Fantastic. Fantastic. Woo. We're finished. We're done. We made it.
Thank you. Thanks.
So thank you so much to all of you who've watched, our viewers out there. If you are not watching this video on YouTube, then you need to, like David said, run, don't walk, over to YouTube and get on YouTube, get on David's YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and you just, in the search engine, just type in David Sobel Law, proven resource, you'll find his channel. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like his videos. There's just a plethora of content and information answering so many questions like this one and even more. And then also, as David mentioned in another segment of this video, he also has a ton of content for free on his website. And so I'm going to let you, David, let the viewer know
Sure.
if they have any questions that they want to directly reach out to you, or if they want to go and peruse everything that's
Sure.
available on your website. What are the best ways that they can reach out to you and find you?
Sure. Well, the best way, Blair, is the 888 number, which is 888-789-1715. And we welcome all callers. We want you to call us if you have a question. That's the easiest way to reach out to us. And we can set, if you have a concern, you set an appointment. With regards to the internet, you can go to provenresource.com. And we also have an app that right now, the app that we provide, it's a legal app. It's free. You type in the word proven, Proven, and you text that word over to 36260. And we are now close to, my understanding, 60,000 users on our app.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's pretty cool. And you know, we have links to a whole host of resources for people involved in real estate and in finance and in contracts and who have issues with probate. So those are the areas that we work with. That's how you get in touch with us. And Blair, I thank you very much for taking the time. These were good, really good questions. And I hope,
I agree.
you know, you found the answers satisfactory. So if that, all right. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you, David. And thank you to those who are watching, and we will catch you on the next episode. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.